I'd like to welcome two people who need no introduction, but I'll introduce them anyway. Two past presidents of EFP, so Professor Mariano Sanz from University of Competences and University of Oslo, and Professor Søren Jepsen from University of Bonn. Mariano, if I can start with you. Obviously, you're here as co-chairs of Working Group 1, and you've been discussing undergraduate education, so very vast area to discuss. We have guidelines from about 15 years ago, published in 2010, and we're here to update those. So what do we feel, or do you feel has kind of dominated the discussions of the working group? What was your emphasis on discussion?
Well, the emphasis has been basically twofold. In one part, we have tried to accommodate to the new trends in educational research, how ADE has changed the framework of domains and competences for undergraduate education, and how we could adapt to those changes at the same time updating the previous guideline for undergraduate periodontal education.
Okay, and in 2017, ADE updated their curriculum framework for undergraduate dentistry. So has that made a major impact on the discussions this week?
Certainly, and we have used that change, that new framework, to basically adapt a whole set of new learning outcomes which are related to the different areas of undergraduate periodontology.
Okay, and Søren, if I can ask you, obviously in a similar timeline in 2018 we had the new classification of periodontal and peri-implant diseases published. How have you been able to incorporate that new classification into the expectations for undergraduate dentistry?
Well, absolutely. This new classification has been accepted and adopted all over Europe in all the institutions that teach periodontology. And so it's been proven to be very useful for teaching because together with the clinical practice guidelines that came out a bit later, we now have the full line of patient care, and there's a domain, patient-centered care, one of the 4 domains. It's about patient-centered care, and the new classification together with these clinical practice guidelines are sort of the backbone for all the key learning outcomes that we are putting together right now for the undergraduates.
Okay, and has it been challenging? Obviously, you mentioned the clinical practice guidelines. They cover a huge remit. It's wonderful to have them, but they maybe present some challenges as to where to start and stop in undergraduate education. Has that created debate, or has it been?
Well, the only debate could be to what extent can we go. For example, stage 4 periodontitis, is that something to be dealt with by undergraduate students, or is it immediately clear this would require a specialist treatment? So these are some of the issues that have been discussed. But I mean, stage 1 to 3, it's obvious that all this has to be taught, and the treatment for the different steps of periodontology have to be taught at the undergraduate level. So, I mean, we have a very sound basis for what we teach and what students are supposed to learn. Very helpful.
Okay, just out of interest, my first time attending one of these, so it's very exciting for me. After many years of focusing on primarily clinical topics, how is a discussion around an educational type topic different, or have you found it different?
It is different because we are mostly used to evaluate scientific evidence based on hard scientific facts, and when we are dealing with education, we are dealing with other kind of research, more qualitative research, and not so structured in terms of different scientific methods applied to it. But at the same time, we have in this workshop a vast teaching experience from experts from all over Europe who have dedicated their lives to teach and to drive the learning of their students. So in that sense, I think putting both things together is a very exciting exercise.
Okay, well, thank you both. I found it exciting anyway, and as people who've been influential in my own education, it's good to come full circle and be here with you and see how it all works. So thank you for your time today.
So welcome, thank you.